This Hungarian countess is said to have killed more than 600 girls and young women, making her the world's most prolific female murderer.
So this is the curious case of a 16th century noblewoman accused of the most vicious, bloodthirsty crimes, and in fact, of being actually a vampire.
This is the curious case of the 16th century vampire, Elizabeth Báthory. Her motivation was said to be the desire to preserve her youth, so she sought out young virgins in order to drink and bathe in their blood. There is even a theory that she could have been the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Count Dracula. Born into nobility in 1560, Elizabeth's family controlled parts of Transylvania, a place long associated with vampire mythology. Her uncle was King of Poland.
Elizabeth was married in 1575 to a count and had 4 children, but she also managed quite a few illicit affairs. It wasn't until after her husband's death that stories of her bloodlust suddenly began to emerge.
Elizabeth's early reign of terror had been confined to young peasant women. With the help of her servants, she captured and tortured them before finally killing them and supposedly drinking and bathing in their blood.
There's an interesting footnote from Elizabeth Báthory's childhood, which was she suffered from epileptic seizures and fits. And one of the treatments at the time was understood to be taking blood from someone who wasn't a sufferer and rubbing it on your face, or even ingesting a little bit of this, and perhaps keeping with you a piece of skull. So perhaps this played into the young Elizabeth's mind and finally found fruition when she became the sadistic adult that she was.
They were poor and voiceless. She was rich and powerful. Her mistake was to move on to more aristocratic targets who'd been sent to her to learn good manners. Instead of acquiring genteel ways, they ended up victims of her depravity.
The list of depravities mentioned by eyewitnesses included stabbings with scissors and needles and even red-hot pokers. Some of the peasants and the young girls were beaten to death, others starved. All the while, Elizabeth Báthory would be enjoying every moment of it, giving her the reputation she rightly deserves as one of the worst sadomasochistic women in history.
As the body count increased, Elizabeth's crimes began to gain attention, and the King of Hungary ordered an investigation. In 1609, she was arrested along with several servants. The servants were tried and 3 were executed. Elizabeth somehow avoided going to trial, but was confined to her castle chambers.
Despite her egregious attempts to attain eternal youth, Elizabeth Báthory died in 1614 at the age of 54. The investigators sent by the king determined that in her 20-year reign, Elizabeth Báthory had killed over 600 women. She may not have lived forever, but in one sense, her reputation lives on, which means she has attained eternal life, and certainly a place in the Guinness World Records Curious Casebook.